Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world, wherever you're watching from. Hello and welcome to today's Confessions of a Global Changemaker show. I'm very excited to bring to you this amazing, she literally is a Wonder Woman of wow, because as we were talking about her story, there's been, it's like real up and down. And there's sometimes when you hear somebody talk about their life and what they've been through, and you think, how can somebody go through all of that and still be smiling and as gorgeous and where you are right now? And it's just wow. And I want to get behind some of that story, because there were so many great lessons that I was learning from you as I was finding out what was the journey that you'd been from. So welcome, Nicole, to today's show. Hello.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here and chat with you.
Oh, you're very welcome. Well, guys and girls joining us now, do make sure you keep checking in. Tag somebody in that you know would really value learning the journey of somebody who literally has gone through the most peaks of success and the downs of having to go out of business, literally being forced out of business, to creating another business, to, bringing all of your skills from the past into the future to create something that really is life-changing. So I can't wait to dig in to this. Please, share it. Make sure you tag some people in who should be on the show right now. So Nicole, for those people who don't know anything about you, they're going to get to know more about you through the process of this 45 minutes that we're going to spend together today. But before we talk about you and what you do, tell us why you do what you do.
Yeah, I love marketing. I fell in love with it in college when I interned for Microsoft. Just the creativity and the strategy together I just love it. And I really love helping small business owners. It's hard. We do a million thwe So being able to take the overwhelm and the stress out of marketing so they can grow. I don't know. There's nothing better than a phone call from a client saying I reached this goal, or we sold out this, just having those wins with them. There's no better feeling.
Yeah, I know that feeling. Guys and girls, if you have ever had that feeling of marketing being overwhelming, give us a hashtag overwhelm in the comments right now, all right? Because I know, even as a marketer, I get overwhelmed sometimes by the amount of things that we have to do. I mean, there's so many expectations. Mm-hmm. We've got to manage all the different social media profiles. We've got, letters that have to go out. There's email newsletters. There's emails. There's videos to be made. Mm-hmm. There's all kinds of podcasts to create. Yeah. There's all these things.
It's endless.
And things that you can do. Mm-hmm. And there are so many small business owners that are actually trying to do it all. What would your advice be to them?
Yeah, I know. I saw a stat the other day. I think it was 82% of business owners do their own marketing. I mean, that's huge. So we're all the majority of us are doing it ourselves. I would say, start with your foundation, really know what your goals are, know who your customer is, where they're hanging out online, what's going to resonate with them. That's going to save you a lot of time of trying to, be all the places you might not need to be there. And really just your messaging, like I said, and that would be not just your logo or your tagline. That's your whole vibe. When they land on your website or your social media, speak to them and answer, they're looking for answers to their problems. So just, putting a little bit of thought into that foundation just makes it so much more efficient and effective.
Yeah, because there's so many places you could be. One of the things that I really believe is, if we get rid of all of the stuff, if we take rid of take all of the things that we could be doing out of the equation, and really think, okay, well, where is my ideal customer hanging out, where there's not just one of them, there's hundreds of them, or even thousands of them in that one place, right? How can I show up intelligently and a lot in that one place so that they all get to experience, as you call it, the vibe and the spirit and the energy of the business, but without burning out. Mm-hmm. And, so many people, they're trying to be on LinkedIn and Facebook and got to be on Instagram. Right. And, those things are great, but really master one thing at a time is something that I would say. What's your favorite social media platform?
Oh man, I kind of go between Facebook and Instagram. Like I really like the visualization of Instagram and the ease of it. But I get a lot of my leads out of Facebook, and everybody's like, "Facebook's dead." I'm like, "No, it's not. Like, it really isn't." So I would say between those two. I'm not a huge Twitter fan, but I do, I hang out on LinkedIn a good bit too. That's one I'm trying to like be more active on because there's a lot of potential there.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's lots of mistakes people make with their marketing. I think I've probably made most of them.
We all have.
I hope I have anyway. I don't really want to be making many more. Although saying that, I mean, there's always learning in the process, isn't there? What's your favorite marketing strategy right now for small business owners?
Ooh, so Pinterest is kind of, and I didn't name that a second ago on my social media, but Pinterest is really, really good at driving traffic. I've used that for my podcast a lot, and it doesn't take a ton of time, but it is like its own search engine. So you can use keywords, you can use hashtags, and you can just create your own custom templates and images in Canva. Makes it super easy and really drive traffic to whatever you're trying to get out there, because a pin lasts forever. So it's a little bit, a longer game than say trying to rank first on Google, which is also kind of hard to do. So yeah, Pinterest, like a lot of my clients have been utilizing Pinterest lately.
Yeah. I love Pinterest. And I think, especially for, like you say, to drive them to a podcast, that's perfect, isn't it? Something on Pinterest, because it's creative. And if you've got some creative media like a podcast, or a channel or somewhere, people love Pinterest because of its creativity, I think. So if you're driving them from something that's creative to something that's creative, I find that there's a lot of success there. And I know a lot of people aren't really using Pinterest in the way that they could be. I know that when Pinterest first started, I mean, it shot out of nowhere. And there was something like 183 million users of Pinterest at that time. I'm going back, gosh, this must be like 2013 or something. And it was something like 86% of the people using Pinterest at that time, you might be able to tell me if it's changed, but at that time were women earning over $100,000 a year, who were like professionals. It was professionals. These people go, oh, well, if I'm going to target professionals, then I need to be on LinkedIn. And it's like, you're kidding, right? They're all on Pinterest. They're in escapism mode. That's where they're hanging out to get over the shit day they've had at work.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So they are qualified buyers for sure. I can't remember the other stat. It was in the 70% that they make a purchase after seeing a brand on Pinterest. So, I mean, they're, like you said, they're there, they're hanging out, they have income to be able to do things. So Pinterest is a fantastic place to get started.
And they're action takers, because if they're professionals, they tend to be people who get shit done.
Right. Exactly.
They're not in browsing mode, they're in buying mode.
Right. Exactly.
That's a really good point. We haven't actually covered any of this on the show yet. So I'm loving how we can really get down and dirty.
Yeah.
And you're like, you have no idea where we're going to go with this show, and neither do I. But we always just go, oh, that's the thing. That's what we're going to concentrate on today. And I think social media is such an amazing part of a PR tool, and it's also a great marketing tool as well. What if somebody wanted to start using Pinterest? Because I'm sure, like, how many of you are actually using Pinterest now? Like, give us a yes or a no. Say yes, Pinterest, no, Pinterest, so that when I go back, because we're going live by 5 channels right now, so you might not be showing up in my feed, but I go back afterwards, and sometimes I read through them and I go, oh shit, what was that an answer to? Make sure you put Pinterest, yes or no, because it'd be really good to know if you are using it. Nicole, how would you suggest somebody does start using Pinterest to start promoting their business if they've never used it for promoting before?
Right. Yeah. So first off, you're going to want to make sure you have a business account. So if you're just kind of using it personally, make sure you switch to a business account, and then verify your website, because that just kind of helps with all the technical stuff. And it'll walk you through how to do that. Super easy. And then that way you can see your analytics. Like if you just have a personal account, it's not going to show you the analytics of who pinned, who clicked through, things like that. So you'll want to be able to go over those each time, or like maybe even once a month. Just see what's working, see which images are resonating with people, and you can really just start to gauge things there. But yeah, and then you make some boards. You know, you could have your blog, you could have a podcast, you know, motivation, inspiration, like whatever, you know, you're doing in your business. Just start making boards for that. And then you can also make sure you fill out like your profile, like use a few keywords in there as well. Like I said, because you can search them, like you can search these keywords in Pinterest. So you want to, don't stuff them, but, you know, ease them into the flow so people can find you. And then just start pinning. And it doesn't have to be your custom content every time. You can repin. And that will also, you know, show that you're active on the platform and people can still find you from other pins. So I usually only do two custom images from Canva a week. And that, you know, drives, like, when I was doing that consistently, I'll be honest, like the last few weeks, I've kind of dropped off. But when I was doing that consistently, like it was over 25,000 views a month. So it really like not a ton of effort, but just, yeah, keywords, images, you know, make sure you put your descriptions when you post them, and then, yeah, just see what happens.
Okay, I'm typing all of these banners as we go, all of these golden nuggets that you're giving us here. You know, and like Canva is such a great resource, isn't it? I've been playing with Canva today, and it's so fast, and especially when you create you know, a template as such, or you've got it like the templates that I use for the confession show. It's all done on Canva. And I mean, I'm a designer. This is my trade, but I'm not going to go and use my fancy software to create stuff if there's already something that will build it really quickly.
Right.
And the template is in there. So, okay, so we've got Pinterest down. Now, what about TikTok? You know, this TikTok brand, it's coming on the scene. Lots of people are talking about how great TikTok is for business. Are you using TikTok? Are you familiar with it? Like, what's going on in your world with TikTok?
Right. So I downloaded the app. I have not used it, mainly because I am not the best dancer. So I'm like, I don't know how I am going to I don't know how I can do that. But it's been amazing. Yeah, people are, especially during this time when people are at home and browsing a lot more, it has like just gone on fire. But I mean, I am curious to see if it's gonna like last, kind of like Snapchat. Like it kind of seems all the rage right now. So it'll be interesting to see the longevity of it, but it's definitely entertaining. And I do know, excuse me, you know, I even like, there's very niche like markets in there. Like there's a infertility doctor on there and she has like 20,000 followers. Like you wouldn't think infertility kind of like that community would be on TikTok. So I don't know. Like I would say research it. And, you know, if you like your ideal customer is there, try it. You know, if it's not too complicated, but yeah.
I mean, it's very good for youth brands, isn't it? If you're doing anything to do with kids or young, you know, adults, as in like young adults, teens, tweens.
Right.
You know, it's a good thing for that. What about LinkedIn then? Let's talk about LinkedIn, because, you know, lots of people are saying, oh, I need to get to learn LinkedIn. Do they really need to get to learn LinkedIn? Is that the most used place for people who want to target other people that have a business?
Yeah, it is. I mean, like there is a lot of opportunity there, and it is a lot of like managers, C-level executives, and higher being, you know, hanging out there. Well, I say hanging out, but I mean, the average LinkedIn user only spends 17 minutes per month on the platform. Like, so that's not much. They're not on there like browsing, you know? So I don't know. Like I usually just put my similar content. I change it up a little bit for LinkedIn. But I don't spend a lot of time there because I know a ton, like a lot of people aren't spending time there, but it is another great place to like publish your blogs. You could put that there as well. Like you can definitely gain a following. But yeah, just keep in mind that LinkedIn users aren't on the platform a ton. So
that's a really interesting fact. They're only on it for 17 minutes per month. I can definitely say that I don't spend any time on LinkedIn. I go in, I check my messages. I might post a blog or a comment, or most of the time, the reason I go onto LinkedIn is because like our Law of Brand Attraction authors, you know, they're posting things on there and they'll put a little thing in our chat and say, hey, I just posted this link, you know, go and have a look. And so I'll go and have a look and I'll put a comment and, you know, we all kind of support each other, but it's really like an empty strategy. because
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like I'm really connecting with anybody on there.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And then you get the spammy messages like, oh, I just connected with you and can I jump on a call and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I know. And I'm like, this is not how you're supposed to start a relationship. So, but yeah.
Somebody messaged me and I think I picked it up this morning or late last night. And they said, I'm so sorry I haven't been in touch for a while. This has been going on in my life and that's been happening, but it'd be really great to catch up with you. And when I looked at this person, I don't even know who this person is. And so it feels like false advertising.
Right. Yeah, it does feel very spammy and shallow, So yeah, if they could stop doing that, that would be great. Like, I don't know if it's actually working for them
right now. Just don't do it.
Right.
It's the best way to brandalize, isn't it? Really? Because,
right. Yeah.
How I wonder. I mean, it must work. Otherwise, they wouldn't keep doing it. But
I guess I don't know.
I'm just completely puzzled by it. How many of you watching this right now have had a message from somebody on LinkedIn where you're like, I don't even know this person, but they're already trying to sell to you? I mean, I just get it all the time. It's just an ugly way to do business. It's not a way that I feel is a good way to build the brand. So let's dig into your perception of brand and building a brand. Like, what does building a brand mean to you? You go through this with your customers. What are you learning about their brands as you're supporting them to build them?
Yeah. So, I mean, for me, it's all about building relationships, and that's not like some quick overnight success, which I think a lot of us, or sometimes we get caught up, you see people like, oh, I had $100,000 launch, and it's like, oh, why can't I do that? But I mean, we don't see all the work that they put behind it and how long it took. So, like I said, I really help my customers just figure out their messaging. Like, really, what are they trying to say? Who are they trying to talk to? That is your brand. That, it's the images, it's the fonts, it's your colors, it's, what you're saying.
And then that's really easy though, don't they? They think that's really easy. Yeah. But actually what they do is they go into bullshit mode. Mm-hmm. And they create all of this stuff that sounds really nice, but it doesn't mean anything to anyone. And so then they need someone like you to come in and go, oh, yeah, okay. Right. Here's why that's not working.
Yes, exactly. Like, do you really believe what you're saying now? Because if you don't believe it, then nobody else is going to believe it. And you're not going to make authentic relationships, Mm-hmm. And then it's providing the content and like, the valuable information, like it's helping, like you are out there to help and just build those relationships, help people with their struggles and just consistently doing that over time and on the right platforms and, the right avenues that work for your business. So.
Yeah. Nicole, what I love about you is there's many things that I love about you, but one of the things I really love about you is that you don't just do this you do this with other people now, but this isn't something that you've gone to college and you've learned it and now you're teaching others how to do it. This is something that you've applied to your own business. And this isn't your only business, is it? The business that you built before. Let's talk about that, because you were the branding and marketing director for that. Mm-hmm. So I mean, that was a massive shame what happened to that business. Run us through what happened, because I was gutted for you when you were telling me the story. I was like, oh my God, because it seemed like you were in love with the business as well, and you and your husband working in it together. Just take us back a bit. Take us back time.
Okay. So my husband and I were both from right outside New Orleans. So we stayed for 2 years after Hurricane Katrina.
Love New Orleans.
I know, it's
the spirit place.
Yes. Oh, it's an amazing, amazing place. Like, you can't even really like put your finger on what's so amazing about it because it's so unique.
Mad. I think that's why he likes it. He likes anything that's bonkers.
Oh God, yes, they're crazy. So we stayed for 2 years after Hurricane Katrina. My husband renovated a bunch of houses, and he was like, "I got to get out of here. Like, it's hot. Let's change." So we decided to move to the Northwest. We were young at the time, before kids. And so we bought like a little farm and revived it. And so we had an organic farm. We grew 40 different varieties of vegetables. We did farmers markets, CSAs, all of that. And a few years into the business, we were home brewers. So we built a little brewery on our property. And we had a nice little view of the Columbia River and everything. And so we're building that up for 7 years, and we literally created too much traffic. It was our opening season of 2014, And we had so many people come out. We had a band, food truck. It was so fun. But our neighbors did not like that. They did not like the traffic we were creating. It's a pretty rural community where we were. So yeah, long story short, we got a cease and desist. Had to go through
What was the decision that you made? Because I wasn't quite sure after we got off the call. I was like, did you just decide to close the business? So you didn't think of relocating. It was literally done.
Well, okay, so that was in May, and then we took the whole summer. We had a public hearing in September. Like everybody from the community came out.
They literally put you out of business instead of supporting. They just put you out of business.
Yep, they did. Two guys really, like, they were older. They didn't like the traffic and the sound of the music when we would have live bands and stuff like that. So yeah, in September, like I said, they had attorneys come out and everything, and it was like a zoning issue that nobody picked up on when we put our application in. And so they gave us the option to like be a growler fill place only, and it just wouldn't work. Like you could just come and fill up like your growler of beer and leave. Like you couldn't hang out. You couldn't serve pints. Yeah. So like for us, we didn't make enough off of that
business.
Exactly. And that people loved coming to the farm. You'd see chickens running around. We had sheep. Yeah, it's all part of it. So we ended up closing. And then I don't know if I told you this the other day. We were going to relocate to a different town. It's like 4 miles from us on the waterfront. We had investors. We were going to go like this whole big, take what we were doing, but make it bigger. And we got denied for a loan. And so it was like, that was everything. So yeah, it was just literally like, felt like the rug was like ripped out from underneath us. Our kids were young at the time. Yeah, it was a shame. So,
I mean, what goes let's just get into the mental health of what goes on when you go through a process like that, because, everybody on the outside sees that we're strong, and actually, especially when we have kids, we feel that we have to be strong. We have, you can't show the kink in your armor because you're meant to be the strong one, right? So, like, what was going through your mind when all of this was going on? Were you actively thinking, I can't talk to anyone about this? Were you thinking, I need to talk to someone about this? What was going on for you?
Yeah, I'm not one to really share what's going on. So I kept a lot of it in. Yeah, and just, I don't know, we just kept going. Well, actually, my husband immediately flew to New Orleans to go start working down there. I stayed up here with the kids, and we just, I don't know, each day tried to like keep going. And then, eventually you work out of it and you look back and it's, things happen for a reason. But yeah, I try to think back to when it happened, and I can't really like think of any emotions because I kind of just shut them out, I think.
Yeah. I think we get good at that, don't we?
Yeah, I know.
When we were talking the other day, and for those of you that know me, there's a lot of you that obviously know me because you've been following me for a while. But when I went through that burnout, I wasn't talking to anyone either. And I think that eventually it did catch up with me. It's kind of like you can shut it out, but it doesn't go away.
No. Yeah.
So it's still renting a space in your nervous system. It's still there. It's still in the cells of your body, isn't it? Even if you manage to compartmentalize it somehow, because we just have to. You've just got to keep going.
Right.
You've been through all of that, and you the lessons that you got from that. Like, if you could sum it up in like 5 lessons, what would you say your 5 lessons were going through that process?
Yeah. Everything changes. Like, be ready, like that, you never really exactly know. And like, it's made me more adaptable now because we just had to adapt and keep going. More lessons, like just we're stronger than we really realize that we are. Going through things like that, and just anything. I mean, everybody, like, we all go through traumatic, things in our lives. So we really are stronger than we realize. Trying to think of what else. Like, there is so many things. One also too, like I said, it felt like the rug was ripped out from underneath us. But now looking back and how we were able to like build it and just learn so many business principles and strategies, and what I use in my business now. And, we're not working 80 hours a week on a farm. We're, we're in a better place now, although I couldn't really see it at that time. Yeah. And so just knowing that, sometimes shit happens, but just keep going. And eventually it's going to make a little bit of sense. Hopefully.
Yeah, eventually it will.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, you've got young children as well. What are some of the decisions that you made having come through that? Were there any non-negotiable things that you now do because you recognize that there's the train and that's where it's coming? What are the signals for you?
I don't know. Yeah. Also too, that has helped me be, like I said, I keep a lot in, but because of that experience, and sometimes, now that my kids are older and I notice when I hold things in, they'll be like, "Mommy, are you frustrated?" And I'm just I'm able to speak a little bit more, at least just be like, this is kind of why I'm frustrated. So that has helped. I couldn't do it back then, but now I can. And just knowing that that's going to help them be able to do it as well when they're older. So that's probably one of the bigger things as well that I was able to take away, if that makes sense.
So if let's imagine that one of your kids decided that they were going to start a business, what advice would you give them knowing what you know?
Both of my kids have actually wanted to start a business. We just got we got Mark Cuban's book last week. My son he's 6. He wants to build gaming apps. And then my daughter wants to knit. And so, yeah, we kind of started at the beginning with both of them. We were like, you need a business plan. And they were like, what's that? We're like, well, it doesn't have to be 20 pages, but right, what do you want to do? What do you want to sell? Why do you want to sell it? How are you going to sell it? So just really starting in those planning stages, because like I said, too, with the farm, we were just so in love with the farm and we kind of just dove in. We didn't really have a business plan. In our heads we did, but we didn't put it down on paper. So when I started my second business, that's where I started. I have a whole Google Doc, and also learning that having those foundational pieces, and I refer back to it, what were my goals? What am I, so yeah, that was the first place we started with them. So
yeah, it's we learn these lessons, don't we? And we pass them on, and it can be quite painful when you see people go through stuff that's completely unnecessary. And there are some lessons that we have to go through, right? And there are other things that you just think it's unnecessary. Please don't go there. It's a bit of a minefield, isn't it? That the world of business, it can be. I mean, it doesn't have to be as hard as it is. If you have people like us in your life, then right. You've got an easier route. But 9 times out of 10, we've only learned because of the hard way, and it's just passing those lessons on. So what's your vision for what you're doing now? When you think about what you're building and who you're building it for, who is that and what is it?
Yeah. So I've had my marketing agency for about 4 years, and it's always been the done for you model. So people hire me to do their marketing for them, which I love. I've helped so many businesses grow over the past few years, which has been amazing. But the thing that breaks my heart is that a lot of times when I talk to business owners and they're like, yes, I need that. And then we talk about the cost and they're like, I can't afford that. And I'm like, I know, I get it. When we had the farm, there's no way I could have come up with a budget to hire someone. So I really that's been the silver lining for me with COVID. I've had the chance to I've always kind of wanted to do this, but I finally had the time to make the videos, to write the content, to list all the resources that I use. And so I've put all that, I don't want to call it a course because it's not, it's your resource and you can just have it and refer to it anytime you need. For small business owners that just don't know where to get started and they'd love to hire someone, but they can't. So yeah, just put all that together. And it's been so much fun. I've worked for so long putting all of it together and I'm like, oh my God, I just sat here for 10 hours. I mean, it can be confusing, but if you're not marketing your business, it's really hard to grow, and it's really hard to use tools if you don't understand, why you're using them or how to use them, so.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, guys and girls, it sounds to me like a resource like that would be very, very handy. So, Nicole, where do we get it from? Where do we go to find out more about that?
Yeah, it's on I have it on my website. So that's just
Let me put your website on the screen. Okay. So tell us what it is.
NB, like Nicole Bernard, NB.marketing. And it's right there on the homepage. You could click. So it's housed on Teachable. Just so
Lovely.
it's in different modules. So yeah, like I said, you could tackle all of it at once, which would take a long time, or you can just go in and like, I want to learn Facebook. And so it has its own little section within the social media modules. So yeah, it's everything like search engine optimization, email marketing, your analytics, so you know what's working and how to look at them, just all kinds of stuff.
Well, let's take a little deep dive now. Let's go and have a look. So nb.marketing, www in front of that. Let's go take a deep dive now, shall we, boys and girls? Let's share the screen. Let's go see.
We'll filter.
I like to get shit done and do it in the moment. So fabulous. All right, brilliant. Okay, well, if you go to nb.marketing, then you can get social with Nicole. If you click on these buttons, you can go and connect with Nicole. Let's just put that in there.
That's your marketing foundation. So if you want, it's like a 20-page guide to all those things I talked about, your goals, your buyer persona, and your messaging. So it just dives into all that to help you get your foundation.
Wow, that's a great start. And then, okay, let's close that. Fabulous. So you've got your podcast as well.
Yep.
Lots going on. I just love it. So there's lots of great things on here. Got a great blog. I'm sure that there are some things on here that are going to be able to give you some ideas if you're a small business owner and you're wanting to really get your brand out there. There you go. 5 free ways to market your business, 10 app recommendations to rock your business. So some great resources on there, and brilliant. So we can get through to your podcast on here as well. Bubbles and Biz. It was only after I got off the call with you a few days ago, and I'd already been saying to my husband, someone said that they'd love to interview me, and we're gonna drink champagne while we talk. I'm like, that sounds like the kind of show I want to be on. And then I realized it's your show. It's you. And I'm like,
we're gonna have to get that on the books, because and the whole purpose behind that is community. It can be lonely to be a business owner. So, and I love champagne. So I'm like, well, let's combine the two. Let's drink some champagne and talk. So there's all kinds of nuggets that go back.
Love it. So you've got a book club, there's webinars, there's all kinds of stuff on here. Right, now let's dig into the services. So it sounds to me like you've got your kind of dream clients that you're working with, but if there's somebody who really wants your support, but they can't quite pull their pocket together to be able to invest at that level, then you've got your courses that you provide as well. So you've got okay, so it's done for you, so you can master it for them or they can master it themselves. So
exactly.
Okay, brilliant. Well, Nicole, this is excellent, and I very much hope that you guys and girls go and check this out. You can never know enough. And my commitment to you is to bring you the very best people that can help you to go and do the stuff you need to do. Yes, there's a lot of people out there that are talking about marketing, but there's only a few people that I really trust where it comes to marketing. There's a lot of people that they'll try and sell you everything that they can. And what I love about you is you're really giving. You've got loads of great resources on your website where you're just demonstrating your core values. There's integrity running through everything you do. So you've got this, we can go to Teachable, we can get into the resource. What other things, what else is coming? What's coming up for you over the next couple of months?
Yeah, so I'm really excited. On Monday, I'm doing my first pop-up challenge. So this actually would be a good, if you want to get more customers, drive more traffic, just with simple digital marketing strategies, you could hop in that. We're going to go over
that.
That is on Facebook. Oh, but you could just do NB marketing / get more customers.
NB marketing, get more customers. Yeah.
So we'll be diving.
Did you say?
What's that?
Is that on Facebook? Did you say?
It is, but there's a landing page on the website where it'll direct you to the Facebook group. So I'm excited. This is my first challenge to see how it goes. It's 5 days. We'll have like a live Q&A. You'll get the marketing foundation. We'll go through all of that. You'll get like a PDF of like marketing terms, because people are like, what's the difference between inbound marketing, content marketing, digital marketing? Like I said, it's hard to be able to utilize it if we don't really understand what it is. So things like that. I'll be giving away one person can win the resource, like the teachable win source. I will be giving that away as well. All kinds of fun stuff.
Cool. All right. Well, I've just went and I realized that I wasn't getting through to the link. So I'm just going to hide that link one moment and just change it to the real one. Okay. All right, there you go. Okay, that is the link you need to type in if you want to take part in Nicole's challenge and get more customers. Does what it says on the tin. Nicole, thank you so much for being on the show today. I love what you're doing, and I'm sure we're going to go on to do much more stuff together. If you've got any questions for Nicole, please if you go to her website, of course, you can get through to all of her social media channels from there. Nicole, is there anything you'd like to leave our listeners and viewers with today?
Just, keep going or get started. If you're trying to up your marketing or anything that you're doing, really. I know a lot of us, tend to overthink things or feel like it's not going to be good enough, whether it's marketing or sales or anything that you're doing. Just get started, because you will get better as you go, and it'll get less scary. And just that. And, having your foundation, get that in place. Just, pour a glass of wine, 30 minutes, go over a few things, and then that'll just really, really help you get a jump start on marketing and for your business.
Thank you so much. It's just been a pleasure and an honor to meet you and to be going and doing some other great stuff together. We're in a fairly similar industry, but we have two very different ways of doing things. And I think it's always so important to be able to offer your clients the ways that feel like they're integrity to them. Mm-hmm. And we all do different things, and there's some things that are going to resonate with them from this, and there's some things that are going to resonate with them from that. And I think if we can give our clients a candy store, then they get to pick the thing that means something to them. I think that's so important. So thank you for being on the show today, Nicole. Thank you to all of you watching or listening. And if you have questions for Nicole, do reach out and make sure you ask them. Have an amazing weekend. We're going to be back live at 5 every day next week. And wherever you're watching us from, because we're live via 5 channels right now, wherever you're watching us from, we'll be back here, same time, same place, every day next week. Take care. Lots of love. Mwah, and we'll see you there. Bye.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.